Hello, and welcome to what we might start calling Tortoise Therapies. Partly because talking out loud to oneself and formulating thoughts and opinions about your own thoughts and opinions is therapeutic. Because in the future I will be doing a multitude of modalities and therapies upon my clients to help them reach their fullest potential in life. And because I think tortoises are an amazing mascot. I've got a multitude of reasons I'm not going to get into right now, but they kind of mean a lot to me. The idea of moving slower with calculated and controlled movements and never giving up when pushing against obstacles, it's pretty powerful. It's life-changing. I should know. I want to thank Emily. Thank you for your gift. That was amazing. I don't know you. My wife doesn't know you. She has a friend who knows you. And you connected with us. And that means a lot. Thank you so much. I also want to thank my dad. I got to work on him. I got to work on his hands, the radial part of his arm, which is the radial is the part with a thumb because it's rad. The radial part of his arm, the meaty flesh of his thumb. We haven't learned the hands and arm muscles yet. I've kind of gone over them on my body chart on the wall, and the muscle map and the bone map, but I don't know them. I know the back pretty well right now, and I know some of the side stuff, but like the levator scapula, the trapezius, the latimus dorsi, the rhomboid major and minor, the scapulothoracic joint, the glenohumeral joint, the scapula, which is the floating joint in the back that kind of everything's connected to it and make you move your shoulders correctly. You got the shoulder girdle, which consists of the clavicle and the scapula coming around to the acromin. You got the deltoid that covers all of that. The biceps brachia and brachioles, the triceps brachia. Like I said, still working on the arms. You have the erector spinea group, which is a group of three muscles that travel up by the side of the spine. You got the spinalis, spinalis lumbar, the longissimus thoracic, and the iliocostal thoracic. We learned those today. That was pretty cool. They're very interesting muscles. They don't do a whole lot, but on me they're kind of tender and messed up because of the herniated disc. So learning about them was interesting. Let's see what else was wrapped in there. Teres major and minor, and the rhomboids major and minor. Oh, and the infraspinatus, the suprainfraspinatus and the infraspinatus, supraspinatus and infraspinatus. Those are on the top of the scapula. They kind of cover it, the meaty top portion of it. So that's 5 days worth of school, plus learning massage techniques, and we went over cells today. I didn't do a review of those, so I'm not even going to go into them, but you got stuff like the mitochondria powerhouse, which apparently everyone knows, which, I mean, you ought to. It's a pretty important part of the system. Back to my dad. It was a cool moment. I learned just from another student who had mentioned a modality practiced on him, to our teacher, Jake Lauderstein, and the teacher mentioned the name pin and stretch, and the guy told what happened. They pinned a muscle, and then they stretched the joint. We'll do it on the thumb. They pinned the muscle, and then you did a full rotational stretch of the joint. That was after that muscle, right? And what that does is it resets that muscle, and you do it on a pressure point, so where you're feeling the most pain at, like, I didn't realize that. I have pain right there, quite a bit of pain right there. So I think that's on my actual joint, though. That's interesting. Yeah, and you should also self-massage, by the way. I don't care if you're a massage therapist or not. If you're a human, if you have a meat bag, a spirit, and a physical body, this body needs maintenance. It needs work. All right? Now, I don't know anyone who can afford a massage therapist as much as they need to see one. Okay? I don't know anyone who can afford a physical therapist as much as they need to see one. I don't know anyone who has enough money to afford a chiropractor on a weekly basis. That's not true. I know a few people like that. They don't do it because people don't prioritize self-care. And man, it's so important. If you want to lead your most fulfilled life, self-care has got to be prominent, because if you're not operating at your best, if your body's not operating at its best, then you're going to fail and fail and fail and fail and fail. And once you've gone into that fail pattern long enough, you're going to give up and quit, and you're just going to because it just hurts too much. And it starts with your diet. That's all. I'm just going to say that. I know I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this. Eat what makes you feel good. Or, if you want to think of another way, don't eat what makes you feel bad. That goes from everything from mouth sensations that aren't right, that aren't normal, to getting fatigued afterwards and feeling like you're needing a nap. No, that's a reaction in your body. It's telling you this was not a good thing for us to do. Okay? Your body talks to you, you got to listen to it. When you feel bad, when you don't feel good any longer after eating, you eat something and you no energy. Fast food is going to do this to you. Most restaurant food will do this to you. Canned food, some will do this to you, but processed food predominantly will do this to you. You'll notice a fatigue feeling afterwards. That's a signal, guys. It's a signal that that thing's not good for you. So eat the foods that make you feel better afterwards, and you'll start to have a better life. You can start there as your basic diet plan. Create it around yourself. Make it individual, personal to you. Okay? Don't have a cheat day. You can have like a cheat thing, one thing that you like. But if you notice routines where you eat that thing, or rhythms where if you eat the thing that you like and then all of a sudden you're eating other things you like, then you got to stop eating that thing you like until you can live without that thing long enough to make a routine without it. And then when you do eat, it's like, it's all right. You can just drop it again right there. And then it's like, it's sugar, guys. It's more addicting than cocaine. All right. It's serious business. So my dad, back to that again. Thanks. He had pain here. He's a carpenter. He's constantly drills and all sorts of things, mangling his hand on both hands. He squeezed my hand, and his pressure was minimal. It was, I felt bad for him. That's painful. And he says, it's searing pain whenever something jabs against that pressure point. So like, he's working with his hands every day, and he's busting his ass, and he's working 6 days a week, sometimes 7, to provide a stable environment for his family. And that's hard as a construction worker, especially when you don't make enough to pay for your own self-care. And there's many millions of people in the same situation, and most of them are just bearing with the pain. It's tolerable. That's difficult, okay? It's bad. It sucks. It sucks. I was one of those people. I know. And I did a pin and stretch. Real quick. I did a pin and stretch on his hand. Actually, first I massaged the crap out of his forearm and his biceps a little bit to loosen it all up. Did some friction stuff, some compression, some running down between the radial and the ulnar cavity that's right in here. It's usually a lot of tension because there's lots of muscles and nerves and fun stuff going through there. Didn't have a whole lot of pain going on at first. And then we did the pin and stretch after I massaged his hand for a little bit. Then we did the pin and stretch. We did that a few times, and the pain moved. The pain moved from down here to back here. So we did pin and stretch again, back there on that pressure point. I only pressed as much. Like he said, if you hurt me, I'm done. So I just pressed until he was like, no, that's all right, we're good. So we communicated back and forth, and then we stretched it. And when we were done, the pain moved. That spot felt better, but the pain moved up his radial to... I thought it was an insertion point, but it was somewhere right around here. Right here-ish, right there-ish, somewhere in there. I'm pretty sure it was an insertion, but like I said, I don't know the arms well. But I just know there was a point there that was kind of high and bulgy, and when I pushed on it, he exhibited some pain expressions. So I was like, all right, that's got to be an issue. So we gently pushed on that, and he did wrist rotation. And we did that a few times, and I massaged it and kind of ran my hand across the compression, stuff like that. And it moved up to his brachialius? or biceps brachia. I'm not sure which, but there was a knot there. So we did an elbow stretch, and by the time we were done, on both hands, his strength, his grip strength, had at least tripled. Holy crap, guys! I'm a massage therapist already. I can bring relief to those in pain and increase mobility and strength. Just that fast. That's cool. That's cool to see that kind of reaction. That's freaking cool. So I'm excited. I'm really excited. I also am. I'm hot. Pretty hot in Texas right now. I want to get in this ice chest. It's going to cool me off. And my youngest sister's here. So I'm going to either help her with whatever pain she might have currently. If there's anything that's chronic, then I'm going to work on that. If not, then she's going to get a nephrophilage, a Swedish back, shoulders, arms, neck, the rhythm and pattern and moving around. Because I need to practice that because we're doing that in school tomorrow. So I got to get the routine worked out correctly how I want to do it, because each one's kind of a reflection of yourself, and you do it as life has kind of shown you to do it. They're each kind of their own little masterpiece, so you got to work on yours to make it right for you. So anyways, I'm gonna get in the ice chest. It's burning through ice fast. I haven't gotten any ice for it since the 16 pounds on Sunday. I'm rotating 10 gallons of ice, so that's 90 gallons of ice a day. It's 80 or 90 gallons of ice a day. Do this thing. It's still cold. You can start feeling immediate pins and needles as soon as you bring contact with it. But I think it's just going to get harder and harder to maintain. I'm going to have to get like 14 to keep it cold enough where it's most effective, because I can't keep my head in there very long. But the longer you keep it under there, the better. And I just don't want to lay in it right now. I'm not in the mood for it, but I'm ready to shove my face into it. I'm a weird person, really, what that means. I always feel better when I get back up again. Maybe it just because I'm cooler. You think better when you're cooler. Seems like everyone gets a little bit more frustrated when they're hot. I noticed that in my family anyways, and in myself. I have to leave for school at 6 a.m. It's kind of nice because the roads aren't so busy to start with. I listened to 89.5. There was an amazing preacher on this morning. An incredible message. I'm not even sure if I can recall it. Isn't that a shame? Maybe in a minute I'm going to stop thinking about it. So that was cool. Having that moment. Got to listen to a couple podcasts. It was an hour and 40-minute drive, 35-minute drive. That was the second one to school. Only because if I leave any later than 6 o'clock, I'm just shy of being on time because the traffic gets so bad so fast in Austin. It's hard, but I've been trying to work to this point of getting up early and getting my day started right since I started getting ready to work for Top Dog Roofing. So I've kind of had a few practice months of getting this right. So I know I've been figuring out my routines and patterns to see what helps me the best. And if I can get box breathing done, if I can read my Bible, if I can journal, take a cold shower, shove my face in this, I'm going to have a good day. I know I'm going to have a good day. And I do my energizing breathing, which is something that I created for myself because it helps me Well, it gives me energy. It kind of breaks my brain up, gets me started, gets my engines pumping, so to speak. I kind of borrowed the idea of the energy breath from Wim Hof, who borrowed it from Tibetan monks or some shit. But I made it my own because I like doing that with things. I've been doing breath work for 2 years, and my wife just walked in, which always makes me nervous. Those grapes got left out, by the way.
Is that why they're not frozen?
Yeah. Wet spot.
I abuse him, that's why he's nervous.
Probably. She yells at me and hits me and kicks me and punches me.
I throw frozen grapes at you.
Yeah, she's a big old jerkhead. I love her anyways, though.
I don't know why.
So, I am lucky to be in a position to utilize the training I'm getting to the best way possible. I've been learning from people like Tom Bilyeu and Ben Greenfield, and I'm forgetting names now, but people who've given me secrets to success. I've read some books that have been incredibly useful and helpful, and I've applied those modalities to my life, the things they do, like the box breathing, that have shown to increase performance and increase memory retention and increase focus and just increase sleep quality so that you can actually do well on less than 6 hours sleep, which just for most people sounds like insanity. Like, I get 6 hours or less sleep and still have a good day. Are you insane? But yeah, it's possible, but you got to start meditating, and at least 20 minutes twice a day, and use box breathing, because man, it works, and there's apps you can use that just kind of show you what to do, and all you got to do is do the breathing pattern. Your mind can kind of wander a little bit, not too big deal, but if your breath wanders, and you're screwing up, and you just got to go back to the breathing correctly again, and then you can think about things, and you think about things a lot more clearly than you used to, especially the longer you're doing it. 20 minutes twice a day, when you wake up, when you go to bed, make the time for it, your life will change. I promise. I promise. Do it. I'm gonna put my head back in the water again. Box breathing, 4-count breathing, stress breathing. And it's not just 4 counts. You can do an 8 beat and a 9 and a 12 and a 16 beat and 32 and 60 minutes if you're like really freaking impressive, or 60 seconds. It's an interesting breathing modality. I highly, highly recommend it. Fudge. My apologies. I'm sucking on calamus root, sweet flag. It's a Native American herb. Helps with endurance and digestion. I ate too much, and so I'm trying to ease that stomach pain. My wife made a delicious bell pepper dinner. It was scrumptious. But on top of that, I also ate a bunch of peanut butter and raisins on the way home. And I shouldn't have eaten the peanut butter because it makes my mouth all tingly, and I don't feel good after I eat it. But it's delicious. So sometimes I do eat it. But I try not to. I try to make an effort not to eat it. So I want to talk about Tortoise Therapies. I want to talk about my plans for it. There are those of you who have donated. And if you donated more than $50, I'm going to give that time to you as an exchange for a massage. Like, you've paid for a massage, basically. You paid for my student rate massage, which is $50. And I'm going to give those out every Saturday for the first year after I graduate. My Saturdays will be dedicated and devoted to anyone who paid me $50 while I was in school. The rest of the week I'll be earning my livable wage, which will be more than $50 a session. So right now you're getting a deal. I still doing out the math, but it's probably going to be around 150, maybe a little bit less, maybe quite a bit more. I'm going to be breaking that down in percentages, and I'm going to be showing you where that money's going. You're going to know exactly what my money's doing. There's going to be money going back into the business to grow it, to buy materials, and to fill out my therapeutic office, so that when you come in, after you're done, you leave with the best experience possible, so that you don't need to see me every week because there's been a very large change. Okay, so that'll be worked in there. Like, you'll see the taxes in there. You'll see what I'm paying myself, and I'm going to break that down, that budget as well. So you'll see my child's college tuition and education and their training. It broke down in percentages. Our food bill broken down in percentages. That's my goal. I've been wanting to do that for months now, and I'm not a great budgeter. I'm not a great money manager, so it's been like, it scares me. But I want to make an hour to 2 hours a week as a weekly thing to just work on my budget with my wife. But this is going to be part of my business plan, which I'm going to also write. I'll have contracts that you'll have to come through and sign. There'll be paperwork and questionnaires for you to fill out before you. Do you need me?
I found the chickies.
No. You sound sad.
No, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's fine.
But I found the chickies.
Okay. Did they get wrangled up all right?
I'm trying to get that to kind
You need help?
To get them. Only if you're almost done.
Yeah, I got about maybe 5 minutes left or less. I'm gonna dunk my head once or twice more.
Okay.
All right, I love you. So I'm gonna make contracts and questionnaires that help me get to know you better and help to get you to know yourself better. And I'm already going to be putting a crap ton of work into my business before it's even possible to be a business. Like, I have thought out into the future. I'm going to mentor therapists once they come out of school, the ones that I think that I know I can trust to run a business well, and I'm going to train them to do it my way, because people you'll see why. And then I'm going to give them a structure and a business model so they can go out and do it on their own and create their own life with it anywhere. And I'll get a small percentage from them. And the more the more massage therapists I train and push out into the world, so they can live their own best life, taking care of themselves properly, and also taking care of their clients properly, and just creating something beautiful for themselves and the world around them by changing their community and being a light. That's going to be, it's really freaking cool. I'm really excited for the pathways I'm going right now. God's giving me some dreams, some visions, some plans, and I'm going to follow through with them. Oh. So the Lord has blessed me with $1,445 so far since I published this GoFundMe. And 2 massage tables, 1 donated, 1 given. My sisters are amazing, guys, like amazing. I can't explain how blessed I feel by this. I feel God moving, and I'm excited to see what happens. I had doubt before about him taking care of myself and my family, but I know that whenever I need something, he's going to provide it. And he's going to make it happen. And I'm wondering if I just need to live in faith that he will provide through us through school. The reason why I say that is because school is already a lot of work. Being a homeschool father is a lot of work. Being a good wife, a good husband to my wife is a lot of work. Taking care of the chores I do in the house is a lot of work. I am the main kitchen chef, cleaner, cook, whatever in the kitchen in the evenings. When I come home, when I get off school, for the most part, unless Lainey is kicking ass that day, I get in the kitchen, I start cleaning and getting dinner ready. So that she can start her schooling. because she's got a lot to do too. And then there's also a lot of farm chores that need to be done. So I gotta get in and out of the kitchen as quick as I can so I can get back outside before daylight is over so that I can get the farm chores that need to be done. Because there's no light in the morning when I leave at 6 a.m. The sun's not up yet. I guess I could do it with a flashlight, but that means giving up some of my other things I do in the morning, or it means I need to get up earlier, which may be the case. If it's sustainable, maybe I need to get up at 2 a.m. I was doing that for a little while, but I burnt out. All right. I feel like I shouldn't make these too long. That's not good, but it's a lot to get off my chest, too. There's a lot going on in my life. And these are my my therapy sessions in their own way. Yeah, I'm sharing my life and I'm sharing what's going on here. But this massage therapy journey is I didn't know I'd be going this direction in my youth, but I'm glad that it's come about. All right, I need to go help my wife find, and no, she found chickies. I need to go help wrangle chickies. Their mother has abandoned them, is now roosting in the tree. It's a little intense, but I always feel better after. I can't ignore that fact. Oh. I really need to find my bookmark, or I really need to memorize the Irish poem that I keep on reciting the end of, and probably reciting it wrong. But I don't think of it when I need to think of it, and so it doesn't happen. But and until we meet again, may the road rise to meet you, and may the Father hold you in his hands. God bless, my friends.